The call tonight is going to be fabulous. It's going to be the spirit of the entrepreneur, which all of us on this call are one of those. But it's a really special club, and it's a group of people that have inspired me for many years. So I'm going to do a little housekeeping before I turn the call over to Cowrie, and that is I want to talk about our Ovation trip. The qualifications for the Ovation trip in February to Cancun ends the 31st of December. If you have any questions about your points or anything like that, customer service is great to answer those questions. You can give them a call, and they'll talk to you about that. If for some reason you're looking at your dashboard and you don't see your vacation points, they don't show until your auto ship runs. So that's not a mistake. That's what we all see until our auto ship runs. And so like my auto ship was running on the 15th, and so I didn't see my vacation points until the 15th. I happened to just, for January, I'm bumping it to the 1st of January for the rest of the year, so I can see them right away. But that's how they work. So if you have any questions from now until your auto ship runs, don't hesitate to call customer service, and they'll help you with that. The Cancun trip is going to be Paradisesis. I think that's how you say it. It's a resort. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. That'll be February 18th through the 22nd. In 2015. Can you believe that's right around the corner? I can't believe that we're almost done with 2014. And for the vacation points, to have two adults attend, it's 50,000 points, and that includes $400 per person for airfare. Now, I've won promotions in the past, and I've never seen a company that will help pay for your airfare, and so that's really fabulous. And a little hint for those that are planning on going to Cancun or already know that they're qualified. Right now there's some great specials running that you probably want to grab. Right now I can get a flight from Montana to Cancun for under $300. Crazy, right? So take advantage of those. So for two adults it's 50,000 points. Three adults is 60,000 points. And that includes the $400 per person that's going, flight allowance, and then 75,000 points for two adults and two children ages 5 to 11. And this is the one that was really exciting to me, and that is 75,000 points for four adults. And that's amazing that we can bring, if we have adult children, because I have adult children. And so it's going to be so great to be able to go and bring them with us. So I'm really excited about the Ovation trip. I do want to mention one other little point there that's just a little more housekeeping, and that is that those of you on the call that understand how the waiting room works, and if you're not quite sure what the waiting room is, that's okay. Let's say you just started this week and this is your first call. Get with your upline and they'll explain it to you. But for those of you here that understand how that works, the waiting room is doing the automatic placements on Friday. Okay, so just pass that along so that everybody knows to make sure to get their people placed on Friday before the end of the day, so that they go where they would like them to go, as our organizations are all just growing so much right now. Very exciting things going on everywhere. So I'm just really excited about this call. I don't want to say a whole lot more. I just want to tell you guys, don't get off the call early, because at the end of this call, there's going to be 3 really big promotions for North America that are going to be announced. And they're going to be launching and taking place this weekend only, and then some that are going to go the month long. So stay tuned and listen up for those. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Cowrie, my friend, my partner in business, and I just love so much working with him. He sent a video out to some of us a little while ago on entrepreneurs, and it was so inspiring. And it just has been such a great thing to be able to work with Cowrie and know that you have somebody that really cares and that is really there to make sure that we're all taken care of and that we get the cutting-edge information. And there's going to be some amazing information he's going to share today, and even some testimonials. So with that, Cowrie, I'm going to turn it over to you, and it's just great to be on the call tonight.
Well, Deidre, thank you so much for that kind introduction. You know, you talked about having four or a couple of adult children. Well, I actually have a couple of children who think they're adults. I know it's a little bit different, but I got to tell you, with Ovation, it's gotten to the point where my kids expect to go. Tia was telling me tonight, when's the next Ovation? I just looked at her and I thought, you lucky little brat. You know, you take for granted that you're going to go on these trips twice a year, and they actually expect it at this point. So, you know, it's good and it's bad. It's good because the family can spend time together. It's bad because we've raised the expectation with our children. So thank you so much for introducing the call tonight, Deidre. And by way of announcement, got some huge news. I want to congratulate. We broke 2 brand new 2-star diamonds this past last month in our organization. The first one is Michael Darling out of Montana. He is just doing a bang-up job with his team. He's growing really significant teams overseas. It puts his heart and soul into the business. It's showing his volume's gone up dramatically. And what leadership Michael Darling displays. The thing I love about Michael, he produces and he rarely complains. And when he does, you know, he's got a great point. But he's always about good news. He's always about, hey, guys, I know we can work on this, but here's what's happening. I can do this, and here's a resolution to this concern or this problem. This is leadership. This is what we always look for in organizations, or people who are willing to step up and be leaders, people who build and people who find solutions. So a special shout out to Michael Darling for achieving 2-star diamond this past month. Congratulations. We have another 2-star diamond that broke as well, and she is none other than Deidre Howard, our host on tonight's call. Deidre, I want to tell you how proud we are of you for your hard work, your dedication. Let me say this about Deidre. She cares intensely and deeply about her people, works out of integrity, and if anything goes amiss, she's kind of like a very protective mother hen. She wants to make sure her organization is cared for, the information is accurate, and if she doesn't get it, she is willing to run through walls to make sure that her organization has what they need in order to succeed. So, Deidre, thank you. Congratulations for achieving the rank of 2-star diamond, because here's the good news. Once you hit 1 star and then 2-star, 3-star is inevitable. It's going to happen. It's getting on that roadmap, following the course that's been set for you. And as the weeks and months go by, you will surely hit those ranks as long as you're moving forward with progression. So I know that in not too long from now, we're going to be announcing them as 3 stars, 4 stars, and beyond. So again, congratulations. Guys, tonight, the topic of this call is the spirit of the entrepreneur. And the call is going to take approximately 35 minutes. I will talk fairly quickly. I am very excited about the content that I want to share with you. I think this is stuff that you're going to want to write down. When I got involved in network marketing, and I've told this story, it was so we could make a van payment of $365 to drive that blue minivan. I'm not ashamed to tell that story. I chuckle about it, but that was my mindset back in 2002. Over the years, I've learned and I've won and I've lost being a distributor. I remember days listening to calls like this thinking, I'll never get there. These guys are so fantastic, how they have it together. What's the secret? What are they doing? But I always believed that one day I could get there. I just had hope that that would happen. Tonight, I want to talk about being an entrepreneur, your God-given right to achieve great things in life. Entrepreneur in the dictionary is defined as one who organizes, manages, and assumes the risk of a business or enterprise. When I think about being an entrepreneur, I think about it in 2 different ways. And with your permission, I want to share this with you very, very quickly. Years ago, we owned a traditional small business. We had about 5 retail stores in 3 states, that being Idaho, Wyoming, and Utah. And retail is a really tough industry. My experience of that experience, thinking back, was the money that we had to invest to open our stores, purchasing inventory, managing inventory, the cost of maintaining the properties, the rent, the common area maintenance fees, matching taxes with the government for employees, paying to our full-time employees, helping pay with their insurance, getting that set up, marketing, I mentioned the upkeep, not to mention all the other things that you couldn't see that really affect a small business. And my experience of that was we worked hard, we were proud of our business, but it took away something that I really craved, which was my time freedom. And in the end, the business owned me. And I'll tell that story sometime in the future. But what an interesting experience for 8 years to own my own traditional business, to go to work every single day. And my stores were in malls. So we had to be open during mall hours. And if you've ever been in retail, you know what that grind can do. And times it by 5 stores with all of our employees and all the headaches that went along with the rewards. It really wore me. And over a period of those 8 years, I developed I would say a condition where I had a lot of sharp pains in my stomach and sleepless nights. So I'll just leave it at that. My second experience of being an entrepreneur has to do with being part of my very first network marketing company. That experience is very different than being an entrepreneur and owning my own traditional business. In my second experience, it was so much different. You know, I was the guy that was at the gym at all hours of the day and night because I could be. I went in when I felt like it. I was the guy at church functions that worked from home, so everybody was talking about, you know, going to the office and office politics and whatnot. I was sitting there thinking, man, I don't shave for 3 days at a time, and I like it. You know, that was my experience of it. My experience was being able to attend my children's functions at the local schools and being one of the only dads in the whole place, you know, just sitting there with mostly moms, 2 dads, and I was always that other guy, the other dad there, because I could be. My experience was not missing my children's football and soccer games because I could be there. My experience was being available in family emergencies to help people out if they needed help because I was the only one that wasn't tied to a work schedule. So that's my experience of being an entrepreneur with a network marketing company. Now tonight, I have some statistics I want to share with you. These are really exciting, guys. I mean, as I mention these statistics, I hope you write them down because at some point, even though we start to own our own businesses and build our business, we have to be converted and we have to keep true to what we know and why we came into the business. I want to give a special shout out to Tommy and Chelsea for telling me about Eric Warr and his video, Rise of the Entrepreneur. What I've done is I've compiled a list of some of the statistics that he shares about owning your own business. And I want to go through these fairly quickly. We've got 3 incredible guests toward the end of the call. And then as I mentioned, what Deidre mentioned, we're going to be announcing our incredible promotions. There's actually 4 of them that take effect this week. 2 of them only run to the weekend, okay? So you're not going to want to miss this. So here we go with some of the things I want to share that I learned. Let's talk about unemployment. We're going to talk about a model, a traditional business model that no longer works. In unemployment, did you know that 30 to 40% of the people who are classified or were classified as unemployed are no longer even counted by the U.S. government? I'm talking about the U.S. here, because the U.S. government, after 6 months, takes them off of the unemployment category. So unemployment is actually a lot larger than most people think. They're dropped from the workforce after 6 months. Talk about another thing that's really, really important. A lot of people talk about getting a better education to get better employment. And as Robert Kiyosaki mentioned, this is an industrial age idea. In fact, here's a really interesting statistic. Sallie Mae, which covers student loans, is over a $1 trillion business. It's a debt right now, over $1 trillion. It's now the number one, it's the worst credit out there because student loan debt is not forgivable like bank or credit card debt. And once you have it, you just can't shake it off. So what's happened is that a lot of people, instead of using credit cards to pay for their schooling or tuition, they're using student loans. And again, it's at an all-time high of $1 trillion. Let's talk about the wages of people graduating from college. Did you know that in the year 2000, the average income wage for a college graduate was $65,000? In 2011, that's gone down from $65,000 to $54,000. So you can see that people who are going to school and graduating with degrees are no longer experiencing the type of income that they experienced, 5, 6, 10 years ago. It is dropping. The average person, get this, working and will retire in the United States will retire with $41,000 in assets. I'm not talking about money in the bank. I'm talking about $41,000 in collective assets, meaning their homes, their cars, whatever they own. It's going to show up in that category. Guys, these are people, and this is a large category of people that are just been barely making enough to survive. And at retirement, they don't have much, if anything, to show for that. It's really, really disturbing. Let's talk about national debt. This includes municipals, unfunded Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. $127 trillion in government debt, which means that basically we are 8.2 times the growth domestic with the GDP. We're 8.2 times that. So think of the condition of the government, where the economy is headed. These are real startling figures. Let me go on really quickly. Interest rates. Banks are offering lower interest rates. So what's happening now are a lot of people who have money are thinking, where am I going to put my money to get some kind of return? And if the banks are only going to offer these lower interest rates, I better find some other vehicle to invest my money. Well, we all know how Wall Street has performed over the last 8 years. So a lot of people are thinking, I've got capital. Do I really want to sink it into Wall Street? Do I really want to put it in the hands of somebody else and hope they know what they're doing with my money? Very, very interesting. Let's talk about incomes in the United States. So here's something that I thought was really, really interesting. The average income in the United States is $50,000 a year. That's known as the middle class. The top 25% of income earners, $90,000 a year. Top 10% of all income earners, $140,000 a year. The top 5% of income earners, $190,000 a year. Top 1% combined household earnings make $380,000 or more per year. So the question I have for everyone on this phone tonight is, what is the best chance that you have of earning the top 25, 55, 10 or 5% incomes? What is the very best chance you have to do that? And the answer is very, very simple. You have to become a business owner. Why? Because if you follow the traditional model, the economy is shifting and people are finding themselves underemployed, not being able to find work that they're qualified for because of competing technologies and competing global commerce. That's really what's happening there. So it's really, really interesting to see what's going on. And, you know, when people want to start their own businesses, I've had a lot of people, some of my friends come to me occasionally and they say, you know, Calry, looks like you're doing all right. You know, what are you doing? I've got some money saved up. I'm thinking about starting a business. And they ask me, you know, what do you think about, you know, maybe building a retirement home or storage lockers? Those are the kind of questions I get, or even gyms. And when I talk to people, I often tell them, you know, I think about who I'm speaking with first, and I really ask myself, are they savvy enough to understand what it takes to grow a traditional business? Do they understand the amount of work it's going to be requiring of them, the time it's going to be required? Do they understand the capital investment? And number three, are they willing to risk their family's future to start a business that to start a business that fails 90% of the time? Because all new business sales, especially small businesses, have an over 90% fill rate within their first 3 years, depending on what type of business you're starting. Guys, those are staggering numbers, things that people really have to think about. Other people talk about franchises. I remember here in Utah when Dunkin' Donuts made its way into Utah about 4 or 5 months ago. You know, it's the newest franchise craze, right? But just to get started at Dunkin' Donuts, you're looking at $500,000. So do people really have that kind of money to invest in something where they're not going to get a return on their investment for at least 3 years? They may even lose money the first year or two. And, you know, those franchise models are pretty good. They probably won't lose money, but the barrier to entry is the cost of acquiring that franchise. Very, very few people can do it. The fact of the matter is that today, 70% of all Americans would love to be their own bosses. They just don't know how to do it. Think about that one. They just don't know how to do it. So what if there was a system that was out there waiting for them that totally minimized their risk, right? You totally minimize all of those liabilities out there, but really put them in a position to succeed. by merely leveraging a very small investment, their belief, their reputation, and their time. And guys, that's why I love being a network marketer. I've always said this, the only people who don't like network marketing are people who've never made a dime in network marketing. Now, according to the DSA, these are the last stats I'm going to chew out before we get to our guests. Really, really interesting. According to the DSA, if you break up the regions around the world, North America does $34.6 billion a year in retail sales in network marketing. South and Central America, $33.5 billion. Western Europe, $23.2 billion. Africa and the Middle East, $1.3 billion. Eastern Europe, $8.3 billion. Asia Pacific, listen to this one. Asia Pacific, $77.5 billion a year in retail sales, which gives us a grand total. Okay, network marketing retail sales, okay, retail pricing, $178 billion a year. Now, how does that compare with other industries that we know? The NFL. I support the NFL. $9 billion a year. Music industry, $16+ billion a year. The movie industry, $80 billion a year. Guys, $80 billion worldwide a year versus $178 billion in retail sales, which is what network marketing is. And if you think about that, if every comp plan paid out approximately 40% of those numbers, imagine the amount of money being earned in the field. Statistic that I thought was astounding was that every single day, worldwide, $200 million in commissions are paid out to distributors. Think about that. Tell that to people who don't think this industry works. And if people think it's only the people on top making all the money, the people on top making the money, the top 3% or 1% that, let's say, make $1 billion a year, that chops us down to $70 billion a year left for everybody else, or $171 billion. You get the point. It's a huge number. So the fact of the matter is we're in a very, very great industry. So that being said, I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope that those numbers give you the confidence for you to understand the position that you're in by owning and living your dreams with having your very own business. At this time, what I want to do is welcome our first guest tonight. Ismail, are you there?
Yes. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you just fine. So, Ismail, thanks for joining us tonight. I sent you a little earlier a questionnaire with a couple of questions I was hoping to ask you, and of course you'll answer them how you want to. But would you mind telling us what you do for a profession? Are you full or part-time right now?
I am full-time right now with network marketing.
Okay, wonderful. Before network marketing, what did you do?
I was working in sales for a company called Radio Shack.
Okay. And would you mind describing maybe some things that you loved about Radio Shack, and really quickly maybe some things that you wish that you weren't doing at Radio Shack?
Well, one of the things that I had to clock in when they told me to clock in, and I had to get my breaks when they told me to get my breaks. And that's one of the things that I did not like. And I wanted to do it when I wanted to do it. And yeah, those are two things that I didn't like. And the only thing I did like is that they pushed me to become better. And one of the things that helped me to learn a little bit about how to work with people in the field. And
you know, I love what you're saying, Ishmael, because as I've held jobs getting paid by the hour and on a salary later in my life, I learned that everything that I did interacting with people really prepared me to be a business owner, especially with a network marketing business. So I'm really glad to hear that. What was the point, Ismail, where you just said, I'm done, I don't want to do this anymore? What was that point, and what did it look like?
Well, I actually seen my parents become distributors of the year for a network marketing company, and I said to myself, if they can do it, I can do it. So that's what it was. So, and
that's fantastic. And Ismail, what was it about? I mean, so they got the award, but what was it about their lifestyle that really brought you in and kept you where you are?
Well, I tasted it. I was able to taste the luxury trips, being free and getting a residual income. Either if I worked or I didn't work, my check was there every month, and that's what I liked. And I I don't want to let go of this industry because there's no job out there that said, Ishmael, thank you for washing those dishes, or thank you for moving this product. We're going to send you on a little trip to Catalina Island, or even a meal. So that's what kept me here in this industry.
Well, Ishmael, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to have you. Before we let you go, can you tell us maybe one or two things that you're currently doing to grow your business?
I got to listen to my upline. That's one thing. Humble myself to my uplines. They're the ones that can see. They're a little bit higher on the mountain than I am. So that's one of the things that me and David Hall were talking about a few days ago. And I appreciate David Hall, Carrie Thompson, by the way, and everybody, all the other leaders that are on this call and part of the JM Ocean Avenue family. I love you guys all. You guys are amazing.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Ishmael. We feel the same way about you. You're infectious, your enthusiasm. We really appreciate you, and we wish you continued success as you build alongside us. I want to move on to our next guest today, and she was actually hosted at the beginning of the call, Deidre Howard. Deidre is just a fantastic builder, as I mentioned, just achieved the rank of 2-star diamond. Deidre, are you there?
I am.
Well, that's terrific. Deidre, could you share with us maybe your background briefly, take a few minutes to talk about what was your decision, what was the process in deciding to become a business owner, some of your goals, and where you see yourself headed?
Well, my business owning life started very early. I'm one of a family of 13 children, and I'm the oldest girl. I have a brother that's 10 and a half months older than I am, and so I knew very early on in my life that if I was going to ask my parents for something, that I was going to be taking it from one of my younger brothers or sisters, and so that just did not work for me, and I decided I was going to start making my own money. So at the age of 16, I started my own cleaning business where I cleaned banks and office buildings and doctor's offices after hours. And really, I became an entrepreneur because I had to be able to fit it into my life, because I was going to school and had after school activities and things like that. And then from there, my husband and I, when we got married, he's also very entrepreneurial. In fact, how I met my husband was he was my first employee. I actually hired him, and that's how we met and fell in love, and we've been working together ever since. A lot of you will get to meet him someday, but he's just a great support to me. And he's an entrepreneur through and through. In fact, I can't get it out of him no matter how hard I try. He's just not ever going to be anything besides an entrepreneur. And I'm the same way. So we have it bad over here at the Howard House. He tried to get a job right after we got married. Actually, he did get a job. But the whole time he was there, we were planning on how he was going to quit that job and open up his own company. So he was working to learn the trade so he could open up his own company. And this is in Las Vegas. He opened up a pool maintenance and repair business, so traditional business at that point. And at that time, we were in network marketing, but we're young, and we just we couldn't make it work. And it had a lot to do with the company we were with and the pay plan and those sorts of things. And so we actually decided we were never going to touch it again. We just thought it doesn't work. We're going to do traditional business. That's always worked for us. But what I can tell you is when you have your own business, you don't have a boss, 100 bosses. And when you're in a service business, especially, because if your customers aren't happy, then you lose those accounts, and so you really have to. It's a tough thing to do because you have a lot of bosses. And then collections, that was the worst. I pretty much got to the point where I'd rather be poor than have to beg people for money for services that we've already provided for them. I just hated that more than anything. And so we also started another business, so 2 businesses at one time, and this was a health education and lifestyle business that we began to teach, and we worked with doctors after hours. And so for doctors that wanted their patients to learn about lifestyle and health, they would refer them to my husband and I, and then we would teach the classes in the doctor's office after hours. And it was a great business model. We loved it. We really enjoyed it. We have a passion for health and nutrition, and we had a product line that we recommended. Funny thing how I think God has a sense of humor, because about a year into our business using this particular product line, the formulator of that product line sold the line to a network marketing company. And so the only way I could get it is I had to join the business so I could get the product that I had been promoting for over a year. Well, my husband didn't know at the time that I'd done that because we'd sworn off the topic. And pretty soon I started making checks, and checks would come in the mail. This is before direct deposits. And so I just started stacking up those checks because I didn't know what to do with them. Do you put them in a bank account and then he wonders where the money came from? Do I open up my own bank account? That seemed really wrong, like I was going to be cheating on my husband if I got my own bank account, so I couldn't do that. So they just started stacking up until I had about $30,000, and the company called, and my husband answered the phone, and they asked if I would cash my checks so they could balance their books. Well, he didn't know anything about those checks. And that was how we were introduced again to network marketing. At that point, I'd gone to the top of that company, or real close to it, and Chris looked at the pay plan and said, honey, let me show you how to do this the easy way. So he actually went to the top of the pay plan himself and showed me how to do it easier, and he did do it easier because he's smarter than I am, but that's okay because I married up, so that's good. And this whole time that we have been raising children since they were little, they don't know anything besides mom and dad being home. Those trips, you know how you talked about your kids being a little bratty. I'm going to tell you that there was a point in time that my children actually said, Mom, can we please not go on any more trips? I just want to stay home. And
Wow.
we were going to Cancun and the Bahamas and all over the place. And they just really wanted to stay home. Now, we live on 5 acres and a farm with animals, and it's a great place to be in the summer. But during the summer, they just didn't want to go on any of the trips. They wanted to stay home, so that was kind of funny. But now that we're working with Ocean Avenue, and I took about 5 years off looking for the right company, I believe in working. There's no other business better than network marketing, and here's the reason why. In the 5 years that Chris and I took off, what we did was we did business consulting, both in network marketing and in traditional business. And what we got hired to do was to come into corporate America and show them how to create an army of independent contractors so that they could keep their doors open because so many businesses are closing. And so we brought network marketing to corporate America, and they loved it because being an independent contractor means that it just changes the whole environment of a company. They have vested interest. They show up with a different attitude. And that's why I believe that it's not just the movement for network marketing being the best entrepreneurial model, because you can be an entrepreneurial person and not be in network marketing, but it's the best business model across the board, because when you have a volunteer army or an army of independent contractors that work together towards a common goal, so many people can win. Everybody rises together, and it's just so thrilling. And so I'm blessed that God kind of twisted my arm and made me get back into network marketing, even though I'd sworn it off. And I've always loved business. I've always believed I'm just an entrepreneur. I was just born that way. But this is the best kind of entrepreneur is what I really want to bring home, Cowrie, I could do anything. And I'm not saying that because I think I'm wonderful. Any of us on the call could do anything. We could start any business we wanted to. But why, when we have this as an option? It really is the last frontier for real capitalism that can help our brothers and sisters. It's the last frontier because everything else has so much red tape connected to it anymore, especially here in the U.S. So I hope I didn't take too long, but I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you so much, Deidre. Wow. I was taking a few notes as you're sharing some of your wisdom with us. And actually, I do think you're wonderful. And shame on you for dating one of your employees, even if you did marry him.
I know, right?
Well, guys, thank you so much. Our guest tonight is Ismael Garza and Deidre Howard, and we want to thank you for joining us. Now, here's the time where we're going to unveil the new promotion. So this is really, really important. The first thing I do want to mention is this is for North America only. So if you're on this call joining us from another country, I know what you're thinking. It's not fair. And you know what, guys? It's coming around soon. But this was just given for North America, so we're going to go ahead and make this announcement on this call tonight. The first promotion I want to talk about is we recently had a promotion called Black Friday. It ran 2 weeks ago. We had a ton of success with sales. We had a ton of people going out and purchasing products at 50% off wholesale and giving them as gifts for people during the holiday season, and planting seeds to really sprout their business in December and January by having people use products, and our products will create a demand on their own. So a lot of you took advantage of that. This week, again, I want to make sure I say this correctly, so I'm going to read this so I don't goof it up. This week is Red Friday. Red Friday is just like Black Friday, but it's called Red Friday this time because it's closer to the holidays. It begins on Thursday, December the 11th at 12:01 a.m. to Sunday, December the 14th at 11:59 p.m. CST or Central Standard Time. The great thing about all these announcements I'll be making is in your back office right now or very shortly, these flyers will be there and all the information I'm going to give you is there. I want to talk to you a little bit about it so we can breathe life into this promotion. Red Friday is going to be incredible because once again, we're going to be able to offer, the company is going to allow us to purchase as preferred customers and as distributors 50% off wholesale off the WAV Nutrition line and the 2-Minute Miracle skincare line, okay? So that's going to take place, again, starting this weekend. The dates are on a flyer in your back office. What you're going to want to do, and this is what I talked to my wife about, we made a list of people we wanted to buy Christmas presents for. We believe in our products, so what we did was we made a list. Who did we think would benefit from certain products? Who wanted the 2-Minute Miracle? Who would really want to work on some weight loss? Of course, we're not going to say that, but you know what I'm saying. Who's dealing with inflammation? We put their names on the list. We wrote the products next to them, and we committed that we're going to save 50% off wholesale. We're going to purchase these products as Christmas gifts for this list of people. We're going to give it to them. We're going to show them how to do the 2-Minute Miracle when we give it to them. And we know what's going to happen. A lot of them are going to come back and say, what was that stuff? I really like it. I want more. Can I become a preferred customer? So that's one way you can do it. Another way you can do it is by stocking up on product and selling it at the retail price, not just throughout the holiday season, but next year as well. Guys, 50% off wholesale. That is an incredible, incredible sale. Along with that, the next item to talk about this week is our restart kit. Basically, here's what it is. We did run this before. Through December 31st, everybody who has not achieved the rank of 1-star diamond or above still has the opportunity to purchase a gold pack or above to be able to qualify once again, to be able to get in. If you didn't qualify before, you can have a brand new run it as if you're a brand new distributor, and you can take advantage of the roadmap, okay? The roadmap is loaded with bonuses. There's a 30-day bonus up to $200, a 60-day bonus up to $500, and a 90-day bonus up to another $500. So it's a great way to hit your stride, to get on that roadmap. They'll take you all the way to 1, 2, 3-star, 4-star diamond. It's all there laid out for you. On top of that, running through the end of December also is our PD booster, which means that anybody who's purchasing a starter pack, they're going to receive for a silver pack 20% PD boost, a gold pack 30%, platinum pack 40%, diamond pack 50% PD boost. Guys, this is going to help your vacation points. It's going to help with rank. It's going to help your business grow. So what an added bonus to be able to have that through the end of December 31st. And the last promo that I want to announce is what we call our Faces promo. Our Faces promo is really simple. It's kind of a contest, and I missed some prizes for the other one, so I'm going to get back to the Red Friday promotion. But for Faces, let me read this to you really quickly. Submit 5 videos to win 1 entry into a weekly drawing for 5,000 vacation points. There is no limit to how many times your name can be entered, and so they're going to pull from that drawing, and it tells you in this flyer that you'll see in your back office the parameters for how to enter the contest and how the video should be outlined and what should be in it. Okay, so some really great things. They're giving away vacation points, which is a huge deal. They're showing you how to do it. You know what, guys? by doing this fun thing, by going up to people and saying, hey, could you help me with something? I'm entering a contest. Would you like to look 2 years younger in 2 minutes? Here's something we want you to try, and they'll agree to do it, and videotape them. And you know what? You're going to get customers out of this. You're going to get customers who become distributors out of this. It is not just a promotion, to have fun. It's a promotion to build your business. We have 23 days left in the month of December. The Faces promotion is a very, very powerful promotion because it'll allow you to share your products with people in a very natural conversation and to be able to see them embrace it and hopefully become preferred customers. Back to Red Friday. Guys, there are a lot of prizes attached to Red Friday. I'm going to read a couple of them. Top volume producer gets a vacation to Mexico flight voucher for $600 for one person. That's amazing. Second place, most personally enrolled, or second point, most personally enrolled preferred customers, they get a vacation to Mexico flight voucher for $600 for one person as well, okay? And there's a minimum of 15 preferred sponsored customers on there with volume requirements. Guys, there's a lot in these promotions. You'll be able to see them in the flyers in the back office, hopefully tonight, if not first thing tomorrow morning. On behalf of GM Ocean Avenue, it's been a pleasure being with you guys this evening. I hope you enjoyed the call, but most importantly, I hope you took something away from that you belong to an incredible industry full of smart people who know how to leverage networks so you can do what you want to do, where you want to do it, and how you want to do it, for the rest of your life. So thanks for joining us, guys. Join us on a call next week with Tommy and Chelsea. They'll be hosting another Wavemaker call. They're always a great couple to listen to. Have a great evening. Take care. And bye-bye.